Seller Club Podcast, episode number 65. I will be answering a very, very important question. Drop that beat. Hello. I almost forgot to drop the beat.
I was worried you weren't gonna. I was like, what
when
happens
is that
now?
beat dropping? What if,
You're ready.
what if it doesn't drop?
He's thinking about the question too much,
Yeah, I
you know what I'm
was.
saying?
It was
That's
I
the
think
taking
you
its
just
toll on me.
know. You just know once the beat drops, you gotta give your answer.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be quick.
Been
So
mulling it
answer the
over.
question, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Answer the question,
Perfect.
and then we're done.
Short
Might
and
be.
sweet.
Exactly. We talked a little bit about weird weather right now, but apparently there's like a flu kind of going around too. I don't know. They told me
Yeah,
it's more
flu A.
Texas, but flu A.
Here
But
it's
maybe
flu
it's
A.
more U.S.
Yeah, I mean it's flying around.
Yeah,
So-
it has to be. It's because of the political climate. I'm just kidding.
It's
Everyone's
making
like,
everybody
I am
sick.
sick and tired of this.
It's a political climate.
Insane.
I'm just joking.
I
Whatever.
am sick. Whatever about that. Ken's like, I don't even care about any of that stuff. Come on now.
Man.
Well, and you have a small child in your household, so you
Yes.
have managed to not get the flu yet, which I'm very impressed with. I
Oh,
think,
man.
right?
So
I
are
kinda
you
haven't had
it.
are you being proactive about it and not like going to places where there's a lot of people?
No, I'm still going places, but I hate sick. I don't want.
Oh, me too.
I
Do
hate
you do you have a vitamins thing that you have regimen on already?
Yeah,
a
daily
habit?
vitamins.
Okay.
Have to do it.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the healthy diet. Trying to stay
Oh,
active.
I'm so shocked you're consistent with your
but-
daily vitamins. Oh, gosh.
I'm shocked that you're
Can
consistent.
you believe that?
Come on now.
Um,
I just don't want to get sick, but I don't like to hear when other people get sick. So everybody, stay healthy.
Stay
out
healthy. Yeah.
there. Yeah, be
Or just
100%.
don't tell Glenn about
Yeah, I
it.
can't.
See yourself.
Yeah, I
That
can't
too.
get I can't get sick. I haven't gone out of the house besides dropping stuff at the post office where it's zero. It's touchless anyway. You know, it's zero.
Yeah.
Everything's like 20 feet apart there. So
It's not a bad time to self-impose a quarantine if you can.
yeah, and list. That's all we've been doing. So
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of post office and listing, how are sales right now for? What are we close to Valentine's Day? Well, when this
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
out,
yeah.
it's gonna be
post
after.
Valentine's.
Yeah, post. But
We will have all made it through Valentine's Day.
do we
I-
ever
I-
notice that people spend less money on other random stuff during Valentine's Day,
I-
or
I
like
th-
a little slowdown after?
No, I think sneakers goes bonkers during Valentine's Day because you know, like girls get flowers or sneakers, but dudes definitely get sneakers.
Okay.
Or there's some treat yourself going on.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's true. I was like,
That's
I did a good deed. Treat yourself.
Or I don't need a Valentine. I'm just gonna get these sneakers.
Oh, it's self love. Come on
It is
now. You
self-love.
cannot
It's-
love others if you
Get
don't love
yourself a
yourself
Valentine's
first.
Day gift.
So that's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Go on
you
eBay.
could, if you haven't already, get yourself a belated self Valentine.
Yep.
I have noticed that though after Valentine's Day that there's like a
Less
little
spend.
3-day window where things kind of slow a little bit because people usually spend, if they overspend during that time, they're not gonna go back and buy randomness. So it kind of
If they-
takes a little bit to rebuild.
If they overspent, there's gonna be returns.
Ugh.
I feel like they're still rebuilding from the holidays, so to overspend on this, it's not good. I mean, unless
Don't
you're on
worry.
eBay, look for a jersey or miscellaneous or
yeah.
shoes.
I
or
feel
something.
like-
Shop our stores.
My sales are pretty good for February, but also lots of lowball offers, which is interesting.
more than normal.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know. I've
today-
just been noticing it a lot. in the
Today's
last
been
few
like
days.
extra. Like the last 48 hours been extra because I've been getting 50% off offers.
Yes, me
I'm
too.
just
And I'm like, I kind of
what?
out of nowhere on things that normally I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
necessarily see. Like they're not priced crazy high, you know. It's weird.
So just pay full price. What are you waiting
Yeah.
for?
Or like,
Exactly.
ask me for 20% off. I'll probably say yes.
Yep.
I think there was like a stat where it said like 39% of people try to break up like a week before Valentine's Day.
That is
Oh,
a
'cause they
smart
don't-
financial decision.
I
And
totally
then-
remember that being a thing like in middle school and high school where it was
Yeah.
like, if you're going to be together for Valentine's Day? Because if you don't want to get them a gift or have to take them to the movies or something, then you better just go ahead and break it off now.
Exactly.
Or- terrible.
Or you could pick up your crush after Valentine's Day if they didn't have anybody. It'd be
Was your
all-time
crush
low.
crushed by being dumped on Valentine's
It'd be
Day?
all time low.
Go in
It'd
for
be
the
all
kill.
time low because they're gonna be sad, and you're gonna be there to buy and give them chocolates at discount.
That wouldn't
CVS,
work for
baby,
me.
CVS.
my favorite spot. You gotta go to CVS the next day. Buy one get one, or 50% off. Do you know that, Anna?
No, I can't eat chocolate.
No, like there's white chocolate. There's other.
There's
treats.
white chocolate.
There's white treats.
There's other options.
treats. Did I just say white treats?
Listen, I know I'm a really white girl, but yeah. I don't
There's
like
other
to eat
options
only
out
white
there.
treats.
There's other options, but I actually, yeah. But also too, it's kind of sad day while recording this. Glenn, did you try on Sneakers app?
No, I did not.
I can't even believe you didn't try because you knew you were gonna take an L, huh?
I haven't got anything from there in a long time. It's just straight
Oh.
L's for
Oh
I don't know
no.
how many drops. So
Nike Kobe 6s dropped today, and what's your take? Do you like it? Do you like the pattern? Do you like your take on it?
not really. I wasn't a huge fan. I guess it's not because of the stars. I don't know. I wasn't really
You-
feeling it. But
Okay. I kind of like the stars, but I wish they had more colors to it. You know,
True,
like just
true.
rather than just a off-white all color, you know. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I was actually really confident to like get it because I was gonna wear it to the gym and weight lift on it. That was kind of my
Your take.
welcome back to the gym present.
Valentine's Day.
Welcome back to the gym after the
Yeah.
flu is over.
That was because I haven't been, it's been 2 months, so we're thinking about going back to the gym in a week. So
So did
trying
you
to,
get
like-
them?
no, I took an L because it was
Oh. I
it was a
missed that
first
part.
come first serve. So a lot of people took an L. So it might be one of the more recent Kobe's that would resell.
I'm gonna see what else there is. I mean, I need to get new Kobe's. I haven't bought shoes in a long time either. See what happens.
What do you work
See
out
what
on?
happens.
LeBron 21s,
Oh,
I think.
I got you. I got you some Sabrinas. I'll just have to find them where.
nice. Okay, yeah, I
So,
like the Sabrinas.
you
I'm
said-
actually
you
wearing
said
one of
you
them
wanted-
right now.
Oh, really? You like them?
Yeah,
What
I
size
like
you
them.
wearing
I
those?
like them. Women's 12 and a half, men's
So
11.
yours 11.
Yeah.
Glenn, if you would just set your consistency crosshairs on getting new shoes, you would never not have new shoes. You're like,
He's
"See
just
what
so
happens?"
inconsistent about getting shoes.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
true.
we found the one thing he's inconsistent about.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's his
Well,
Achilles heel right now.
That's
Yeah.
it. Episode over. Just kidding. You still have to answer
Episode
the
is
question.
done. Oh
We
yeah, we
actually
haven't answered
haven't
the
even
question
gotten
yet.
to the real topic
We
yet.
haven't even gotten to the topic yet.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I have been listing. I'm happy with it. Sales have been trickling through.
Yeah.
I'm at 582 listings. I don't remember what I was last episode, but
I thought it was
We
like
need to get-
300 something. Does that sound right?
I don't think I've done that much. I mean, I wish, but I don't think I did. Cause
Well, I'm going to give you credit for it. If anybody wants to go back and listen and do
okay.
my homework for me and find out.
Because my
Yeah.
goal is to get to the Anna listings level, and I got a long way to go.
I'll meet
That's
you in the
what
middle,
we-
okay?
That's
Meet me
retirement
at,
right
meet me
there.
at 5K.
Retirement.
5,000 listings for me. I'm
Yeah.
retiring.
Dang, 5,000 listings is wild.
I'm trying to
But
get down to
getting there.
5,000 listings.
Get-
I am. That is a legit goal that I have.
We're at 2,687 listings, so I'm halfway
Dang.
there.
All right. Before I get to Anna's level, get to Ken's level of 2,000 something. So that's.
Well, you have a lot one time. What was the most that you've had?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't remember what I was at the most. I don't even think I was even at 2,000 something.
Oh.
But I don't know. We're gonna
All
try.
you have to do is 10x it.
We're gonna try
We'll
to
be
try.
fine.
10x.
Yeah. Actually,
Just
when
a
I was
Cardone 10x everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a grand thing. I when I was first starting my store, the challenge that I took was to list 500 things as fast as I could and then evaluate after that. That's what the Scavenger Life podcast kind of advocated for, because they were like, if you can list 500 things, you can list as any amount of things, and you'll know by then, is this something I want to spend my working life doing or not, you know? And it's a great test. It's a great way to just totally eliminate like hesitation or kind of, you know, second guessing through the process. Like, they're just like, don't even evaluate it until you've hit 500 and then see. Because about 500 listings is about the time something would sell every day. So it's like at least one sale a day. You're like in a rhythm. You figured out all your processes to a basic extent. I mean, I think that was a pretty good advice. Like, I would give anybody
That's
that
a lot.
advice.
500 is a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a terrible advice.
Pretty much,
That's
if you
scary.
can handle 500, you can handle anything. That's what they're
For
saying.
me, it was great because, I mean, at the time, I wasn't necessarily thinking, like right at the beginning, I wasn't necessarily thinking, I'm going to replace my career with this. That kind of came later. But because I did it that way and I was so determined and I got to 500 like pretty fast, that taught me like, yeah, I could do this all the time. Like if I had just done a little here and a little there, I think I would have always
And you probably
worried about
didn't,
that.
like, you probably didn't listen to anybody else. Because
No.
500 wouldn't have stopped me to start. That's a lot.
I know.
Knowing
It is
what
a
I
lot.
know now,
Yeah.
500 items is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be so organized. Like,
You
my
do.
goal was 100 listings. That's what
Yeah.
it was. You should have listened to Hustler Hacks. You should
To
have
get
watched
100.
Hustler Hacks.
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure it was 500. Now that you say that, maybe it was just 100, but I don't think so because
It's probably
I
50.
found. I think it was 500. I wrote about it in my book, so I should go and look and see what I said. But
Yeah, 'cause
I
that
know
is-
that I did find 100 things to list way faster than I expected to, and it was all stuff that I had at my house or my office. And I had
Well,
just
that-
donated a bunch of stuff to Goodwill, and I was like, "Dang it! I could have probably sold some of that stuff." But
That
then I
goes to
still
show
found
that
100 things.
you're very, you're not afraid of challenges.
Right, or at least wasn't back then.
Back then.
Maybe,
Oh.
maybe that scared
Well,
me.
even
No,
if
just
you
kidding.
asked me, and I was like, "Hey, can you put up 500 listings in a month?"
Yeah,
Like,
it was like a month. Yeah,
that's a lot.
I was like, I'm doing
Glenn,
it.
there you have it. That's what you
Yeah,
need
that's
to
on
tell
motivation
your,
right
Sink
there.
your
That's
teeth
your
in,
motive.
Glenn.
Yeah.
But also answer my question.
Oh, okay. So, going back to, if you don't know what we're talking about, you got to go back to our last
Yeah,
episode.
let's reintroduce that question.
Yeah. On what would it take for me to not. Well, I was trying to explain how I was trying to get the best of both worlds, like eBay and whatnot, you know, selling consistently on both platforms. And Anna was just like, well, what would it take to get you to not sell on whatnot and just eBay? Not even thinking about those other platforms out there. And so, you know, I had to sleep on it. I had to think about it. Especially when I was sitting there on the can sometimes, just like, hey, you know, what would it take? What should I do? And I actually have 3 partial answers to the question on what it would take. Now, kind of jokingly, we said lifetime contract like LeBron. I mean, that's an easy... If eBay came out of nowhere and was like, hey, only sell on our platform, here's what it would... You can only talk about this platform on all social medias for the rest of your life. Here's what that contract looks like. How can you
I was like,
deny
so
that?
what's in that contract? Are you actually for sale? Is this fathomably a real contract that could exist?
Oh, I would definitely listen to this contract. So would Kenny. I mean,
You have to. You
have
always
to.
you
can and you
gotta
will.
entertain. That way you'll know your worth.
So that would be pretty cool. And of course, rocking eBay stuff all the time. Only talking about eBay 24/7. So that could work.
Finally
But-
get to use all the swag that you've accumulated.
Exactly. But to answer the question, what would it take for me to only sell on eBay? My first answer would be they would have to eliminate all fake and replica products. That would be number one. Now, eBay's not the only one that has fake and replica products.
Right.
They slip
Right.
and find their way in there on every platform, you know. But you would have to really, I mean, every platform, let's say you're going to dedicate to, would have to find like a real, I mean, you'd have to build a whole team to monitor every listing, whether
Yeah.
it's whatever
Or-
platform to
or
take
get-
Probably
these off.
even like
Get better
a
AI.
or even like an easier way to report counterfeits. Right? Like I was just searching for Kobe's like a few minutes ago, and there's so many of them that should go to authenticity guarantee, but they're not. So that's a red flag.
Yeah.
As soon as you click on it, as soon as you see the first photo, it's a fake. If I
Yeah.
can recognize that, they could pay somebody like me 6 figures to identify that.
Yeah.
You're like, somebody like me or me.
yeah.
I still
So-
have that fake pair of Nike. What were they?
Oh, yeah,
remember?
Cortez.
Yeah. I still have them. 'Cause
The
of
Forrest
course, I
Gump.
can't do anything with them, and I think they're hilarious. So those will not be showing up on eBay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about that answer? Would you say, well, that would help everybody? And we're
Is
not
it
talking about just
doable?
shoes.
That would
Is
help
it
everybody.
doable? Is it doable?
Oh, man. I
Anna,
don't
you
know.
think?
I
With
think,
a team?
I think it is possible. I think with many things, criteria-based structured things on the back end of a platform like that, I mean, I think it's possible, but would it make it too much friction that sellers would quit selling because there's, you know what I mean? Like, is the net too tight or too loose to catch those things? I think honestly that is something where there are a few processes involved that probably will be improved over time, right? Like whether it's reporting listings that already got listed. I think the biggest thing would be catching them from getting listed in the first place, obviously, right? Preventing them from getting listed. And eBay already does a lot for that. But I think especially with like AI, as that evolves, I feel like it can get way better at detecting red flags, right? It's just like such a massive overload of listings on the platform that I feel like it would have to be AI based, or you could never like hire enough people to have their physical eyeballs on those listings to catch everything, you know? So, I mean, maybe that's the final boss, right, of passing the authentic listing criteria, right? Like that ideally that person who's getting paid 6 figures for their eyeballs to recognize things, like they are not seeing hardly anything that's actually fake. But I don't know, like I don't really know the entire way that that's structured, so I think it is possible, but I don't know if the cost of creating more friction for sellers or more hoops to jump through, like I don't know if that cost will be worth it to tighten it up to the place it would have to be to catch everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the hoops for sellers, I don't think it's that much more for our end. It's more of like the ones that don't know if they're listing an inauthentic item.
Right.
Right? Because we have to think maybe majority of the sellers that are causing this is like, let's say all the fake listing bunched together, or the replicas bunched together, maybe 80% of them are accidental and
Right.
20 is, intentional.
Yeah.
So that is like, to your point, and it's like, if they're accidental, yes, it might like leave a bad taste to like a lot of the sellers.
Yeah.
But also you can counter that with education.
For sure.
Like with authenticity guarantee, it don't matter.
Well, right. And I mean,
Let it go through authenticity guarantee. If you're a new seller, vet everything that this guy sells.
right. I also
That's-
think if there was a system of like flagging, like red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like think about what, especially the bad actors, right? Like the type
Right.
of accounts that are listing bad stuff on purpose, right? There should be like a number of red flags
Mm-hmm.
between the account, how they're listing, their behavior on the platform, their customer service, whatever. Like all of that taken together should create kind of a critical mass of red flags that makes you go, this is very likely fake. But I wonder, for sellers who like don't know, say that AI is just able to look at the photos and go, this is, first of all, we're going to require you to upload 24 photos. You got to have really close-up details that's clear and well lit of like the stitching and like all of the tags and all the stuff, right? So that AI can look at that and go, this doesn't look authentic. Hey, we want to flag this listing and not let you list it. You can send it to us to authenticate before you list it. Like, we can check and see if it's fake. And then we'll let you list it if it passes.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
But
I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't know any better. Simple. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, I was going to go on like a simple take, which was like, at the very least, you have to use your own photos.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going to be just like my first step into like my follow-up into this, to where like, I mean, stock photos, I get it. They look nice. They look... But
I don't trust stock photos.
You're just stealing them.
I'm like, nope. Yeah.
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 I mean, you're just stealing them from, let's say, Nike.com or whatever website.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to just see every single seller take their own photos. And, I mean, some people will be like, what? Get some backlash. Like, look at this guy. He wants us to do extra work. I think that's just the minimum work, really.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that should just be...
I mean, if you are an e-commerce seller, you have to at least provide a photo. You know, like that's if I would say if you're not about that life, then get a store, get a shop, physical brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand like, okay, I mean, I know you're not supposed to include stock photos at all, right?
You're not supposed to.
I generally don't, but I know sometimes you can, because it's like, oh, this is the image they would have recognized from seeing this on the internet elsewhere. This is the same shoot, right?
It is.
Or whatever it is.
The ruling is eBay cannot flag you unless the owner of the photo. It's copyright violation. So eBay will not flag it because eBay don't own the photo, but the owner can report you.
Right.
But at that point, it's like there's so much work to do that.
Yeah. It's generally just not addressed by the photo owners.
I would say my second one, which this one's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, has to be the fees.
Is it? The fees. Oh,
the
yeah.
only way you can
easy
easily
feezy.
win. Easy feezy. Like, you want me to only sell on one platform. You minimize my fees down to chump change, and I'm there. Right? Because...
I mean, shoot. If they're giving you a lifetime contract, yeah. Like,
gotta be zero fees at that point.
Easy fees.
Dang, zero.
I would say, okay, let's say a real negotiation. Where would the fees be at?
Well,
in your
obviously,
sweetheart contract.
Yeah, in my sweetheart contract, because they're not doing this for everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
just for you. It's
Just
dedicated per transaction, per person. You know, this is unique. This is no copy paste contract. We're building it right now.
Okay, so the way it would have to be set up, like, okay, I get it. I still have to pay a fee. They're not going to do it at zero. Well, the processing fee is still considered a fee.
Automatic, right? Like it's 2.9%. We can't get away from it, quote unquote.
Okay.
Payment processing fee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do we just keep the payment processing fee? Do we have to do another fee?
Oh, wow. This guy want free
kind
hosting
of,
on
like,
his
final
photos.
value fee. Yeah.
And it might work if you sign an agreement. This is just me as a business person, right? I own eBay partly, and I'm the negotiating body.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I mean, I get your point. You want the lease, but also I cannot go back to the shareholders and be like, hey, we just gave Glen a free use of our platform. But here's my counter offer. If you commit to using at least 5% promoted listings, that way we all can eat too. Would you agree?
Here we go. I was actually gonna say my next one that we just eliminate promoted listings in
Ah,
period. That let
because
the strongest survive on the platform. But eBay needs to make that extra money, so that's why
yep, yep.
it's a tough. That's why it wouldn't happen. That's why this is a very fairy tale type
Well,
of
Whoa.
negotiation.
and I will also say it's also about a lot more than just the search results page. There's a lot of other advertising opportunities
Right,
throughout
advertising
the website.
cost, right?
Yeah,
Advertising cost.
So you're saying if they got rid of paid ads altogether, like all those other ads would just not exist, and you just see the listings, like search results, or you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
That's
'cause
the
some
way
of
it
it's-
used to be, but that was a while
Yeah.
back. Of course,
Right.
I know,
But
well, now it's
also
like
eBay
Google
eBay
or
didn't have
offsite.
commercials and stuff like that. eBay
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
pop up on Instagram and stuff like that. So I say it was like their way of trying to increase the fee, like get more revenue for advertising. So I think that would be the only way my shareholders would agree to that deal, Glenn.
Well, Ken, since you're the negotiating body, I would like to swoop in and take this contract from Glenn because I feel that the fundamental win-win situation of eBay's business model for eBay and sellers, I feel like I'm okay giving you guys 5% of final value fee. I think you earn that by all the stuff
Right,
that you
because
provide for
but
brand
also talking about survival of the fittest, the person that don't want to promote dies.
awareness. Right.
Like the organic, like I cannot live on my organic traffic. I cannot.
But then everybody would be organic in this case, if it doesn't exist.
Yeah, if you didn't have to
The-
compete with everyone's, then
Well, you're still competing, but you're just not.
Yeah, but also
yeah, but you're
too-
not competing with your organic against their paid. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the playing
that is
field
true. See, because here's the thing. Here's the difference that I've always noticed, right? And let's just say my store grew. I got better on eBay. Back then, I would celebrate if I get like 3 million listing views, impressions
Impressions, yeah.
in a month. Like that was the thing. Everybody was trying to get to 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like now, I've been getting 30 million.
Yeah.
So I was like, for 10x, Grant Cardone, baby, for
a lot of
10x
eyeballs,
the
guys.
growth,
A lot of
10x
eyeballs.
the growth, Glenn, wouldn't you want to pay 5% more?
Yes, I can do the 5.
Okay.
But
We can do
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
yes, in this case, but to get me to commit to one platform, that's
Right.
a real
It's
deal
a tall
here.
order. It's a tall
It's a
order.
tall
You should
order, yeah.
ask for the moon. You should.
Yeah. I
Unfortunately, Ken's here to negotiate with you, which I
I'm not
didn't realize was
negotiating
going to
for
be part
you.
of this conversation.
Yeah, now Ken's part of the committee, so true. Okay.
I love it.
So the fees would be the second part. That would just be very, very helpful in that case
Yeah.
to commit. I know some of the deals out there for the other platforms. I don't know. You really have to see would it really matter to you or not. I guess on moving bulk, like Whatnot and Amazon, and sometimes it's like not worth it. It just depends on like what that fee
Yeah.
structure looks like.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they could at least kick off the lifelong partnership with a promotional period of no fees, right?
Oh, that's
like-
now you sound really familiar with a platform that we're not gonna
I know.
disclose who.
But I'm saying, like, no harm, no foul. That has been very effective, I feel, for other platforms.
Yeah, for a month.
But maybe like the first 10 years, they're like, we'll let you pay off another house, and then we'll start charging you fees.
okay, so what
now-
if eBay did something like, hey, this Valentine's Day weekend, Friday through Monday, every listing you create is 0 fee for that listing. You have to go deep into listing as much as you can.
Now,
during those
Glenn,
4 days.
I like that. I'd like to bring that up, that promotion to my shareholders, because I think that's
Your
genius.
shareholder.
I think it's genius.
I think that's genius.
Imagine how much work.
We have to create a sort of urgency with promotional based.
I mean,
I mean,
other platforms do that.
yeah. A platform will tell you list 20 items and you'll get $25. Like, I love that. I literally have done that just to take advantage of that, and then I just
And then you
use
go
the
out to
$25.
eat.
Yeah, like I would just buy it, lowball somebody in their platform and use that credit that I got. I think that is genius. To be honest, I think our shareholders should really consider that. See, the benefit of having Glen as our sole and primary seller in this platform, shareholders, is we get some genius ideas like this.
I know.
Genius ideas.
That's what they're getting in exchange for your no fees.
Oh.
I think they should, though, if they were to do that. I feel like on other platforms that I've very briefly experienced this type of promotion, I thought, is this incentivizing people to just like put up as many quick and dirty listings as they can? Because also that's no good. So I feel like you have to have like qualifying listings, right? Like has a good number of photos, has a good number of stuff filled out.
Well, you have
is
to
like
be
a
like
thorough listing.
I feel like you have to be a top-rated seller to be able to avail this promotion.
Yeah,
it's like
so.
like it has to be
you can't
like
suddenly have one photo and a
yeah,
keyword
like
title just to get a whole bunch done,
or you have
and
to
then
have
edit
like,
them after. That's what a lot of people would do.
Yeah, you have to be in good standing, right? You have to be
Yeah.
in good standing because let's say they would offer it to me and then I get lazy with 4 listings, but they know that I'm a person that will add it later. But a person doesn't have a good history and standing,
Right.
they'll never care. But I will, so it's like there has to be, well, I'm sure like there's pros and cons, but also too, it's like for some people that don't have subscription, they have to subscribe because if they go over, then they're paying under listing.
Yeah.
So either way, eBay's gonna make money.
So let's say the promoted still exists. If you did that thing, like, hey, this weekend only, the final value fee for those listings that you did, there's no fee there, but you can still promote. They're still gonna make money on the promotion part,
Right.
eBay. So that could be definitely beneficial on both sides to, hey, get away from the final value fees that come with that. But all right, they're gonna still make money on the promotion. But it also kind of motivates people to like, hey, here's your time to list as much as you can, especially if you're, a smaller seller or even full-time sellers like ourselves. But if you're one of these bigger sellers, you're going to do it anyway. It probably doesn't really affect you, but to maybe get some of the new part-time sellers in and back into the platform.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if the deal was on the final value fee, then like, yeah, I'm gonna list all my most valuable stuff like during that time. It doesn't have to be on a listing fee.
Already like taking advantage of this, Glenn.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Listen,
Looks
okay.
like we're not trying to go down to 5,000 listings after all. We're trying to get
yes,
to
we are.
10,000 listings.
We're trying to get to $5,100 listings.
Oh,
that's
man.
it. That's retirement right there.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's the goal right there.
Yeah.
So my last one, which, I mean, we're probably gonna get more ideas, especially from the committee here.
Committee with a K.
Yeah. I would like to see something. Here's one of the benefits about Whatnot is that if things are a little slow and maybe they're not moving, if I want it to move, it'll move. Of course, if I start off at $1, we know it's going to move, unfortunately. But there's some benefits there to where, like, hey, you find the right buyer, the buyer's in, they're watching at the right time, sales, they do well. I want to see something where something's moving a little slow, but eBay has this option to where they kind of showcase
The slow movers.
different like opportunities for certain items you're looking for that maybe we start off at $1 auction and it kind of gets more eyeballs on it. Let's say you're listing something, you start off at $1, if no one sees it for a week, let's say it's a 7-day auction,
Yeah.
and it sells for $1, you're like, oh man, it sucks because it was on there for 7 days.
Right.
You know, on Whatnot, it's on there for 15 seconds, sudden death, and then it's gone, and you could still sell for over $1. But for it to be on a platform for a whole week, you're like, oh man, that's rough. But what if eBay has somewhere where you can showcase dollar listings that people are constantly trying to move things, and it's like an everyday thing that you could. I think people would be on there all day, be like, "Hey,
yeah, that is like
it's like
kind
the
of
penny
like
slots.
it's like it gives me the feeling of like one of those kind of like the liquidation online stores, right? Like, like they sell pallets, right? But instead of that, it would be just like there'd be a sneaker page, right? And you sort by your size, and it's literally like ending within. Let's just say they'll give you 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. Yeah,
and then because there's a million
Immediate
listings
payment.
there. Yeah. Yes, it has to be immediate payment.
Has to.
20, like let's say there's a million sneakers there, sort your size, there's probably 1,000 ending every hour. Dude, that would be so fun.
It would be
That would
fun,
be
and I think
fun.
people
As a matter
would
of fact,
definitely
I'm
be
gonna
into it.
bring that up to the shareholders.
Oh,
Well,
I would love that.
I
The
like
shareholders
Thank
better
you.
buckle their seatbelts.
I like that.
Is that like, I mean, would you have any control over that at the time of listing? Like, I want to list this thing in the penny slots, or would you be like, is eBay just pulling in auctions that start at $1 that haven't had any action yet, like into the machine? Like, would eBay determine what gets included, or would you get to opt into it, or opt into getting picked up for it?
I think, would you consider it as just a regular auction that you still have to fight for your like visibility?
Yeah.
'Cause it don't matter if you're selling if there's similar product but just worse
just
condition,
buried or-
what I'm saying, like it still get buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
have to
but this
think
is
there's
like-
like 3 billion listings. Let's
Right.
say like 1% goes through auction. That's still millions.
Yeah.
And Glenn is talking about having a showcase for the ones that are getting like overlooked, right?
See, I think the overlook part, there's so much reason why it's been overlooked, Glenn. So if you are a good seller, I don't think you should have an issue about overlooking. Besides the product just not desirable.
Let me tell you about an experiment I did.
Okay.
You told me to do this years ago, Ken. I still lived in Georgia. I put 500 of my listings at an auction starting at 99 cents for I think I did 3 days or 5 days. One of them sold for 99 cents. 499 of them did not sell. But I don't think it's because they were terrible items. I mean, some of them probably were. They were low dollar items, right? I was trying to clearance them out and it didn't work. But the things that these had in common were not very searchable, right? They weren't branded.
Yeah.
They were more about like a lot of them were like scarves, right? It's like the look and the color and the aesthetic of it. And it's like
not necessarily
still had
desirable
keywords,
because of
but-
the brand. It's
but
more
yeah,
like the style. Yeah.
very easy to get buried because it just wasn't that specific. I think specifically in like the kind of keywords way. But I thought, well, great. If all these sell for $1, I'll just make $500 and get all this stuff out of here, right? And literally one sold for 99 cents. And I was like, okay, this is not a good strategy for my type of stuff, because on the flip side of that, I mean, some of those exact same, I relisted them as buy it now after that.
Right.
They sell every
It's
week for $15, $20, like consistently. So it's not that they're terrible inherently or that my listing is terrible necessarily. They might not have been the greatest, but like they just didn't get any visibility because they didn't have the specifics to rise to the top. I think that's why it didn't work.
I think that one is basically like that has to be like category, kind of like an if
is this
an
a thing
issue,
people
right?
browse for, or is it
because there was one of the biggest Nike not Nike sneaker selling account on eBay used to do 7-day auction, and it they start it on a Sunday, it ends on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and everything sells.
Yeah.
And everything sells for a good price, like market, sometimes even
Right.
more. Remember that, Glenn? Like,
Do they still do it or no?
They don't do the auction anymore because they pretty much like let go of their e-commerce side.
Ooh.
They pretty much, it was like 2 or 3 partners, and they let go of the e-commerce partner. Pretty much sold his share, and then now the other partner is very brick and mortar person. But I think at that point it was like, yeah, it's like that's very like if it's a style and design and brand, I don't think you have an issue doing that. The only issue with the current auction setup right now is still you don't get paid. I think that's the biggest issue.
I like, like not immediate payments. I like this roulette showcase, the slow case showcase setup that Glen's talking about, though, for the stuff that is like...
We got to start that 1 cent.
I know, right? But seriously, like, I think the entertainment value of it for the type of stuff that is not as searchable but is more browsable.
It's very like a knick-knacky, knick-knacky stuff. Yeah. Like,
I feel like that would be a place where people would hang out,
Well, that's why one live selling platform, a bunch of just blind palette open returns prosper.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it has anything to do with the product. It's everything to do with swiping and dopamine and...
Well, here's what also comes into play of why Whatnot is doing good in that aspect is that there's people bored in their office all day, and they're supposed to be working. They're supposed to be answering emails.
Spending money.
Yeah.
And they're on here like swiping, buying random stuff. Also because, like you said, that rush and entertainment. Like, they're bored.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, okay, cool, here's another random thing, and they're just swiping, and oh man, some sort of like eBay fast deals or something that you could see daily for those people that are bored. They're on eBay instead, and they're...
Anything besides the unpaid item situation that keeps you from seeing eBay live as like a rival for Whatnot, or like a viable live selling option? Like, because like that's, let's be real with this question, like that's the biggest difference in Whatnot and eBay, just at face value, is that one of them is mostly live selling and one of them is not mostly live selling, right? So but they both have capacities for both. So because doesn't Whatnot have a regular marketplace too?
Only certain people, I think, can list things like that, and then the eBay's the opposite, to where like only certain people can go live. So they're like, which is good. I think the vetting process is good rather than having anybody.
Yeah, I think it's good too. They don't just want it to spiral out of control. But yeah.
And I think there's just so many other features though that Whatnot is so much ahead of.
They're so ahead.
That eBay has to really catch up on the live part to, from like sending tips to, giveaways to different sponsorships and collabs and things like that Whatnot is already doing. eBay's just not there yet, that they would have to really... And also just the advertisement part. I mean, eBay Live is such a small part of even the eBay homepage that you may not even know that this is even really going on.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And so... Whatnot, you open the app and you're already in someone's stream practically. Yeah. And
it feels, with eBay, it feels very chicken or egg to me about that. It's like, well, of course they're not going to like shout it from the rooftops when there's only a handful of people who are able to live sell, right? Yeah. But on the other hand, like, you want to draw attention to it because it's this new area, right? So it's like,
who's the chicken?
I don't know.
No. On this situation, I think we have to determine it. I'm a proponent for there have to be enough sellers before you could bring in the marketplace and the buyers. But you have to somewhat reward the sellers that are going to get their head chopped off on the first
the
few years.
The chickens who are going to the slaughter.
Because it's going to be a bloodbath.
So we're the chickens.
Because it's going to be tough.
Everybody do your best chicken sound right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, even when we were starting it, we were not that early, but there were some moments I was like, man, I wish I had more viewers because like, especially when you're even when you're selling clothing, everybody size medium, large, XL. If you have 40 people, now you're only selling to 10, right? If the split is equal.
Yep.
Or if you have a small or extra small, then you're done. Just don't sell it. You just rather give it away.
That's always like the double-edged sword of both platforms. It's like with Whatnot, who's watching when I'm live? Is the right buyer there? Are they, are they interested in this item? Something that you think is worth a certain amount ends up not selling for that at all because that right buyer isn't there, compared to eBay to where like you're patiently waiting for that right buyer.
Yeah.
And that right buyer also may not show up either. You don't know.
Right.
So you're the double-edged sword there. It's like, man, this could sell right now. Or it could go for dirt cheap and it's gone and I didn't make anything. Or, hey, I made really good money on this, but it took several months to sell.
Right.
I don't know. It's a tough call.
Which one feels more like being stood up on Valentine's Day?
Ken's like,
I'd rather wait for
You'd rather wait for
my
it to
princess.
sell.
I'd rather wait for my princess than hop onto the beast.
Yeah. True.
Favorite quote of the episode.
And then the princess
Are you
returns.
guys really going to ignore my request to make a chicken noise? I would love to hear your best chicken noises. Since we're the chickens. Ken?
Oh, no, that was a really good one. You had an extra.
That's when you're like that's when you're going live and there's only 5 people watching.
Like entertain
It's
me,
kind of
chicken.
just like what do you say that? It's like the trumpet sound when somebody's getting buried.
Oh, it's like taps?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like taps. Yeah. But a chicken singing it.
Yeah. Entertaining me, chicken.
Very respectful.
That you're live.
Yeah, going live, and it's like, okay, 10 people is here. I'm about to run some Kobe's. And you should have like an eBay emergency button, Just hit it on the screen and just either eBay decides it's like, oh, this guy's in trouble. Let's shut his stream down.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah,
Or dollar guys. It's like the 5 people that are there. Yes, run it now.
run it. Yeah,
Sure.
everybody's like
and you won't get my dollar, but go ahead and start there. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. It's like, no, Chad. Let's go with market.
start at $59.99. And they sell you a $30 shoe.
Oh man.
Oy vey.
So, I mean, I think it's great having the different live selling platforms and see what else happens, but whether you're selling on any platform, you got to put in the work. That's all we know. And
Yeah. Well,
it's-
I mean, I could just as easily ask this about Poshmark. They have live selling,
Yeah.
right? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Like,
They
there's
have.
all kinds of places. I mean, other selling platforms too, not just social media. But, I know you're mostly Whatnot, and eBay's your next platform, your other home-based platform. So, like, that's where the question
Would you
really
agree?
settles.
Would you agree on this statement? I think we can land the plane.
Did Glenn
that-
only have 3 answers?
Oh, did
Yes,
you only
yes,
have
I
3,
did.
Glenn?
Oh, okay. I was like,
Um,
what was in your contract? Okay, got it.
Would you agree that for scalability factor, if you're trying to work with or operate with fewer than 2 people, it's way harder to scale Whatnot than eBay? Because my thesis is 2 to 3 people can turtle their way to 7 figures, and let's just say $500,000 comfortably over 5 to 10 years, depending on all the variables, rather than having that bigger of an operation on a live selling. Because I'm thinking of the quantity that you have to sell overall,
Yeah.
and the amount of shipment and intake. Because I think it's just no matter where you sell, the biggest factor that would limit you is your processing power and quantity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now, unless I'm selling iPads, but either way, if you're selling iPads in both platforms, it's still the same work.
Yeah, you still got to
Still
ship
the
it
same
all
quantity.
out. So.
Yeah, you still have to ship them all out, or eBay, you still have to. I mean, it's not as difficult to list.
Man,
so
selling
like
truckloads of iPads is just so hard.
I think like that's really the factor that I'm looking at on when I'm looking a business in a longevity. Do I have it in me to hire 10 people? And if I have it in me, if you talk to me before I moved here to the States, I would have went neck deep on live selling, because I was in a phase where I'd hire 20 people. I don't care. But after hiring 15 people, I'm at the phase where like I'm not hiring anybody.
You're like, I'm good.
Or I'm part-timing everybody that I don't need to call you back if I don't want you. That is, and with the workforce we have here,
That's true too. I think you have to find that perfect kind of like how much work do you want to do and team and hiring that you feel like comfortable making really great money doing. Yeah.
Right.
That you don't feel like you're just over the top managing and micromanaging all day.
That's true. You might have to micromanage a lot.
I mean, unless that's what you want to do, but not everybody does, and I certainly don't.
No thanks.
But I mean, I'd rather just do the work myself than to manage, I don't know, 10 people. The 10 people is rough. I mean, that is...
Glenn,
managing
that
10
tracks,
people.
because I'm pretty confident you do the work of 10 people.
Yeah, that is true.
You are
10
literally
hours.
doing exactly what you just said you would rather do.
Would rather do.
No, that is...
At least I know I'll show up. That's one.
Yeah. Showing up is the first step.
First step.
That is true. So I think I made my case.
As the committee?
Yeah.
Is that a contract that I'm getting?
Yeah.
Or you
No,
just like my ideas and brush it, and you're just gonna brush me away?
No,
Sweep me away?
I will have to really refer to them, because
To take it under consideration.
the great ideas you have might be
Worth it.
worth millions.
I do like some of these ideas, and I do think even if the totality of your contract requests are maybe a little bit of a pie in the sky for like reality, or at least reality anytime soon, I think it's still totally worthwhile to think about that, because it also goes to show your thought process and like what is important to you as a seller and what's not as important to you as a seller, and where it really makes a difference for your experience and your kind of willingness to commit and be loyal.
Yeah.
Because we know, Glenn, that once you commit, you are in it to win it. Like,
True.
Well,
true.
that's it. So
put it this way:
it should be a tall order, you know.
as a majority partner of the shareholders, knowing now that Glenn doesn't want to employ 10 people, I'll grant you free of fees and only payment processing. So I just did the math. If this guy does $1 million, I'm only gonna take $100,000 from this guy at 10% fees.
And he's not willing to hire, so you're like, well,
Yeah, so it's like, no,
capped.
yeah, he's capped. This guy's capped. Like, I'll hire this guy.
I'll hire.
As
Now-
long as he doesn't let Hustle be used his account.
Philosophical question. If Glenn were to clone himself, would his clones have separate identification and be considered employees?
Hopefully not. I mean,
Hopefully not. Because he doesn't even trust his clones. That's how skeptical this guy is.
That's how to
certain
keep you
clones want
around.
benefits, and I don't know what else they're gonna want. So
He's like, I know myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
listen to all the demands you just made. What did the clones come up with? I mean,
who
Yeah.
knows?
that's
So,
amazing.
Scary.
So that's my take. If they had to deliberately assess individual contracts, they would grant Glenn's. I would grant Glenn's contract.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
if you
you,
were
thank
king
He's
of
a
the
simple
world,
guy, but he's consistent, guys. right?
Yeah.
So he's worth the free fees,
Okay. Thank you.
and we get him for life,
For life.
and we take him off that yellow platform.
True.
Maybe he would change his background now.
You would have to.
He would
Doesn't
have
have a
to.
choice.
He can and he will, as
can and he will.
likes to say.
So
Well, thank you for a very thoughtful and thorough answer to that question. I think it was good to give you a whole week to think about it. You obviously
yes,
thought
thank
a
you,
lot
thank you.
about it.
I did. All right. Anything else before we go?
no, I think we definitely exercise our brain powers today in this episode.
Some of us more than
And-
others.
Yeah, and hopefully whoever's listening to this actually, gets to place scenarios in their mind, in their business, because at the end of the day, you can sell wherever you want. You can create your own platform, you can create your own website, anything you can do. But the bottom line is the bottom line. Wherever you're making the most profit, you got to go there. And wherever's the less friction, go there. So if you like live selling, have at it. I think Glen's platform that he's selling right now is the best. But if you like listing, don't want to deal with people and showing your face, Anna's platform wins. So thank you to
Ken's
everybody
the monkey in
that's
the
listening.
middle.
Exactly, because I go where the money is. So,
Oh,
so
sorry.
thank you
Did
for
I say
everybody
monkey?
that's
I meant
listening.
money. The money in the middle.
Yeah,
Monkey.
the money. Both. The monkey likes
The
money.
money monkey
So,
in the middle.
Yeah. It's a golden bananas. So there you have it. So we will see you in the next episode. Make sure you follow our podcast sponsor, eBay for Sellers, on Instagram, and also our cool seller tool, Seller Ledger. See you in the next one. Peace.
See you.
Bye.